Hey guys, Loot Wizard here with another video on Chimps of War, and in this one I wanted to go over one of my favorite mythic troops, Phoenicia, because it is in the event keys this entire week. So if you do not have this mythic troop, it is worth going for. Now it's not in the Soul Forge this week, I already covered that for the troops there, but this is in the event keys. So if you do have a lot of event keys saved up, you don't have this troop, it's probably worth going for. Now I'm going to explain here why I like this troop and why it's one of my favorite mythics to use. Now I have probably 5 or so mythics that I really use the most, and this one's in that top 5. So yeah, let's get right into what it does, and then I will show you a little bit of why I like it, the team setup, and it is also really good at Explore, so I'll be showing you an Explore team that I do like to use with it as well. It is by far probably the fastest Explore team that I've ever used, and I know I've shared a few Explore teams on my channel in the past. I don't remember that I shared this one, so this might be something new for you guys to look at to see how it works. But let's get right into it here. Its ability, deal 20 damage to all enemies. Now that doesn't seem like it does a lot. Like, why is this troop special? Well, its damage there is boosted by red gems and burning enemies, and if there is a firestorm, deal double damage. So the real key here is the firestorm, because what a firestorm does is it makes more red gems fall down on the board, which that is a part of what boosts its damage as well. So the firestorm is the key to unlocking the potential damage of this troop. So the other thing that I really like about this mythic is that to use it with all of this damage, it does not need to be traded at all. So for you early players that, you don't have enough wisdom orbs, or you just don't have enough of those arcane stones to trade a mythic, because a lot of mythics do become really powerful only when they're fully traded, but Phoenicia is not that way. Even if you trade Phoenicia here all the way to the bottom, it gains 50% chance to burn a random enemy at the start of my battle. Now, that's not really going to boost the damage too much, because as it shows here, that it is burning enemies is a part of the damage boosting, but I believe that it's only like 1 damage per burning enemy. So if all 4 enemies are burning, you're going to gain an extra 4 damage. Let's take a look here at the... that's what I was looking at here. A burning troop takes 3 damage per turn and can die from it. So burning does damage as well as boosting the damage here. But the boost ratio is 1-to-1, so for every red gem or burning enemy, you're only going to gain 1 damage. But the 50% chance to make an enemy troop take 3 damage per turn really isn't worth all of the arcane stones unless you just have a lot of them. So my point with this is that you don't need to trait this mythic troop in order to get the full benefit really of the damage here. So, but you do what you do need to trait is a class, which is the Sun Spear class. So if we go over here, Sun Spear, and right in its last trait, create a firestorm at the start of every turn. Now that double damage with Phoenicia is when a firestorm is active, so this is absolutely going to be essential. And I don't remember how many arcanes it was to get this fully traded. I think it might have been like 18. I don't think it was 12. I think it was more of like 16 or 18 to fully trade that. But that is still cheaper than trading an entire mythic troop, because there you got something like I don't know what it is, 40. No, it's like 21 or something for the last one, but that's 2 arcane stones. So yeah, it's something, I don't know, 40, 50, or I forget. It's been a long time since I've upgraded a mythic troop and actually looked at that. But I know that it is going to be cheaper to fully trait your Sun Spear class. Now, as for a team, I have a couple of different teams. I have an Explorer team, and then I have a just general PvP team. And the PvP team for mine looks like this. So I have Ragnagord here at the top, fully traded, so that it does start at 50% mana. It explodes gems so that you can get more mana. Then I, of course, I have Phoenicia here in the second spot. I have my Dawnbringer third. Now you could replace Dawnbringer with really any weapon that uses red mana, because we're going to be getting a lot of red mana from the class here that's going to create a firestorm. And with all the exploding, you're going to have a lot of red cascade matches coming down. And Leprechaun finally in the 4th spot, fully traded so that it will explode the board immediately at the beginning. That's really its only purpose, is to explode and get your Ragnagord full, and to also fill up a portion of your Phoenicia. Now, when you see this thing in action, it does a lot of damage, and it can clear some pretty high teams. There's really 2 weaknesses to this team, though, which you need to be aware of, and that is, if your hero dies, the firestorm at the start of every turn will cease, which means that your Phoenicia will no longer do the double damage. And since Phoenicia is, other than your weapon, is the only troop that's really going to be doing most of the damage here. So the other thing that is a weakness is if the enemy has Submerge, because Submerge is an effect that will it will dodge damage that's done to the whole entire team. And so Phoenicia does damage to all enemies. All of its damage will be dodged by a submerged troop on the opposite team. So those are really the 2 weaknesses of this team. And as for banners, I'm using the dragon banner so that I have double red and yellow, which is going to fill up both Ragnagord and Phoenicia, and any red that spills over should fill up your weapon. Now, that is my PvP team. As for an Explorer team, just really quickly, I have a different setup for this, which looks like this. I have Phoenicia at the top, simply because my stats are so high here that these troops, they only have like 7 attack. This has 15. There's no way, even through skull damage, that they're going to be able to get through this in the amount of time that I'm going to fill it up and kill everything. So then I have 2 leprechauns for mana generation. I'm exploding the board. And then I just have a generic weapon that does take red mana. Now, I'm using this one, but you could use a different one that has red mana so that it will fill up after Phoenicia fills up. And most often, Phoenicia is going to destroy everything once it gets full. But of course, here at the bottom, you do want to equip the Sun Spear class when you do have the it fully traded, so you get that Firestorm. So let me go in here and just show you real quick how fast this is. In my opinion, this is the fastest Explorer team that I have used. So my strategy here is that I'm going to explode the board with this Leprechaun first so that it will fill up halfway or close to that with getting purple. And then I'll cast the second Leprechaun. And if Phoenicia isn't full by then, the top Leprechaun here should fill up once again, and I'll be able to explode the board. So as you can see, Phoenicia filled up right away. That's usually how it happens, but and once it's that way, you do have the Firestorm going on down here, and everything is going to die in one hit. Like that. So basically, if everything goes that smooth every single time, all you have to do is explode the board once with the Leprechaun. And then all you have to do is just cast Phoenicia, and everything is dead. And you can just keep repeating this as fast as that Phoenicia fills up. See, that time it didn't get completely full, but we do have more green on the board, and we got our second leprechaun. And everything dies. I mean, it's the fastest team I've used. So, yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I really like Phoenicia, because it's so versatile as far as it's really great for Explore, and doing dungeons. It's like one of the favorite troops that I use for doing dungeons daily, simply because it kills pretty much everything within like 1 to 2 hits. Also doing my adventure board stuff, I like using Phoenicia because it clears everything really quickly. And for PvP. So now in PvP things are a little trickier, simply because you're going to have troops that will do the submerge thing and won't die from Phoenicia's attack. Also, Phoenicia is kind of bad against troops that do have barrier, because it's going to hit it once, it'll remove the barrier, but it won't continue to do damage to it. You'll have to get it powered up once again, and that can be a little frustrating. So it's not perfect for PvP, but it does really good on average with the team that I showed in PvP, and then this team in Explore and some of the other activities. Now for delves, it's not super great unless you're farming delves and you can use the color of it, and you can still get a Sun Spear class equipped with it. And yeah, so overall, it's one of my favorites, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. And also, before I end this video, I will go in here and show you the event keys here. So if you look at event keys, the kingdom for the event keys changes every week. This week is the Suncrest kingdom. So if you click on here, you can see the symbol for Suncrest, and it says Suncrest troops. So the troops that are available in those event keys this week are for the kingdom Suncrest. So if we go down here, select this, show all, and change this to that, this is a list of the troops that you could get in the event keys. Now, so Phoenicia is the mythic troop for this kingdom. You could also get any of these legendary troops here, except for this one. That's for the delve that's associated with it. But you could get this legendary, you could get this legendary, and I think that's it for those legendaries. But there's a few other troops here that are okay. But Sunbird here is a really good troop. Also, early game and even later game. It's useful for different team setups. So yeah, I would say that this week it's worth using some of your event keys if you don't have Phoenicia, and also if you don't have Sunbird. So there you go, guys. That's a video there on one of my favorite mythic troops. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for listening. Later.